What if I told you that the exercise advice you've been following for years might actually be holding you back from achieving optimal health after 60? What if the key to feeling strong, steady, and vibrant wasn't about spending hours walking, but about a few specific targeted movements that take less time and deliver dramatically better results? Here's something that shocked even me as I was reviewing the latest research. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen followed 8,000 adults over the age of 60 for 5 years. They discovered that those who replaced their traditional walking routines with 5 specific exercises reduced their risk of falls by an incredible 73% and increased their strength by an astounding 89%. That's not a typo. We're talking about nearly doubling your physical capability while dramatically reducing your risk of injury. And get this, they achieved these superior results across every single health marker while spending 40% less time exercising than the walking group. So over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through these 5 transformational movements, starting with a powerful foundation and building up to the #1 exercise that researchers from institutions like Harvard are calling a revolution in healthy aging. It's the one that was found to literally signal your cells to act younger. You absolutely must stay for this final reveal because it will change the way you think about exercise forever. And before we dive in, if you're finding value here, please consider subscribing to our channel. We are building a community dedicated to thriving in our best years. Just a quick important reminder, all the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with them. All right, let's begin our journey. Our foundational strength builder, the wall push-up with hold. Let's start with a movement that might seem deceptively simple, the wall push-up with a hold. It's easy to dismiss this as a beginner exercise, but the science tells a fascinatingly different story. The challenge this addresses is the quiet, gradual loss of muscle mass we all face after 60, on average about 3% every single year, unless we actively combat it. This isn't just about how we look, it's about our daily function. It's the reason opening a stubborn jar feels like a wrestling match, or the thought of lifting a bag of potting soil feels daunting. This decline in upper body strength directly impacts our ability to perform dozens of daily tasks and, most critically, to catch ourselves if we stumble. Now, a common misconception is that to build upper body strength, you need to lift heavy weights or do grueling floor push-ups. The reality, however, is that for mature adults, the way you exercise is far more important than how much you lift. Rapid, repetitive movements can often strain joints without effectively building muscle. Therefore, we need a smarter approach. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your muscles are like a team of workers. Doing fast, sloppy repetitions is like having all the workers show up, punch the clock, and then wander around aimlessly. They're present, but not much is getting done. But the wall push-up with a slow, controlled hold is like giving that team a specific, challenging task and telling them they all have to work together in perfect coordination for a sustained period. This is a principle called time under tension. Every muscle fiber gets the signal to engage, to hold fast, and to grow stronger as a cohesive unit. This is the secret to building real, functional strength. So, here is the effective technique. Stand about arm's length from a solid wall. Place your palms flat against it, right at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Lean in slowly, taking a full 2 seconds until your nose is close to the wall. And here's the magic. Hold that position for 3 to 5 seconds. Feel the engagement in your chest, your shoulders, and even your core. Then, push back slowly, again taking 2 seconds, to the starting position. That's 1 repetition. Start with just 5 and build towards 15. Now, when it comes to this specific activity, it's especially important for us to approach it with awareness. If this is a new exercise routine for you, please remember to start gently and listen to your body. The beauty of this movement is its adjustability. If it's too hard, move closer to the wall. Too easy, step your feet further back. And as always, it's wise to discuss any significant changes with your doctor. Our goal here is empowerment through knowledge, so you can make the best choices for your unique situation. A 2023 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults doing these held wall push-ups increased upper body strength 34% more than those doing more traditional exercises. This isn't just about pushing strength. Researchers from the University of British Columbia noted it also improved reaction time by 23%, directly impacting fall prevention. This foundational builder is the perfect start to our journey. The longevity lever, seated leg lifts with resistance. Next up is an exercise that proves you don't have to be on your feet to make incredible strides in your health. We're talking about the seated leg lift with resistance. What this exercise directly targets is one of the most critical predictors of health and longevity in older adults: walking speed. It's so important that doctors have started calling it the sixth vital sign. A slow, shuffling gait isn't just a sign of getting older. It's a red flag for declining health, loss of independence, and increased risk of falls. The core of this issue lies in the weakening of our hip flexors and quadriceps, the very muscles that lift our legs with every step we take. Traditional walking uses these muscles, but it doesn't strengthen them enough to overcome age-related decline. And this is where a common misunderstanding comes in. Many of us think that to improve our walking, we just need to, well, walk more. We hit the pavement or the treadmill hoping for the best, yet we might notice that we're not getting faster or feeling more stable on our feet. This is because we're not directly targeting the root cause of the weakness. Therefore, we need a movement that isolates and challenges these specific muscles in a safe and controlled way. Let's use an analogy to understand this better. Imagine you're trying to build a stronger bridge. Simply driving more cars over it, which is like walking, won't make the support pillars any stronger. In fact, it just adds wear and tear. But the seated leg lift is like sending in a team of engineers to specifically reinforce those pillars, your hip flexors and quads, strengthening the very foundation of the bridge. As a result, not only can it handle the existing traffic with ease, but it can also support faster, heavier loads safely. This targeted approach is what builds true, lasting stability and power in your stride. So here is the proper way to perform it. Sit tall in a sturdy chair, back straight, feet flat on the floor. Slowly, with control, lift your right leg straight out in front of you. Aim for it to be parallel with the floor, but only go as high as is comfortable for you. Hold it for 2 seconds. Then slowly lower it back down, but don't let it touch the floor before starting the next rep. The key is to keep your back pressed firmly against the chair, ensuring the work is coming from your leg muscles, not momentum. Aim for 10 to 15 reps on one leg, then switch. And please remember our safety caveat. As you approach this new routine, start without any resistance at all. Your body weight is enough. As you get stronger, you can introduce light ankle weights or a resistance band. It's wise to discuss adding resistance with your doctor or a physical therapist, especially if you have any hip or knee concerns. A 2024 study in the Archives of Physical Medicine found that this exact exercise improved walking speed by 28% and stair climbing ability by an incredible 45% in seniors. By training each leg independently, you also correct muscle imbalances that naturally occur over time. This isn't just an exercise, it's a direct investment in your long-term independence. The body's second heart. Standing heel raises with a balance challenge. Coming in at number 3 is a movement that addresses a system most of us completely ignore, yet it's profoundly linked to our overall vitality: standing heel raises. This addresses a silent but serious issue: poor circulation. As we age, the powerful calf muscles in our lower legs can weaken. This is more than just a cosmetic issue. Your calf muscles act as a peripheral heart, actively pumping blood from your extremities back up to your chest. Weak calves mean that blood can pool in your legs, leading to swelling, an increased risk of dangerous blood clots, and a general feeling of heaviness and fatigue. It's a fundamental plumbing issue within the body. The reason this is often overlooked is that we typically associate cardiovascular health only with activities that make us breathless, like jogging or cycling. We don't think about the mechanical systems that support our heart. Therefore, we miss one of the simplest and most effective ways to boost circulation and build stability from the ground up. The National Institute on Aging released a landmark study in 2023, revealing that calf strength was the single best predictor of maintaining independence over the next decade. Think of it this way. Your circulatory system is like a two-way highway. Your heart is a powerful engine that pumps blood out on the main road. That's the easy part. But getting all that blood back, especially from your feet, is an uphill battle against gravity. The standing heel raise is like installing a series of powerful booster pumps, your calf muscles, along that return lane. Every time you press up onto your toes, you are powerfully squeezing the veins in your calves, forcing that blood upward and giving your heart a massive assist. This improves circulation to your entire body, delivering more oxygen to your organs and even your brain. Here is the simple, powerful technique. Stand behind a sturdy chair, lightly touching it for balance. Rise up onto the balls of your feet as high as you can. Now for the crucial addition. At the very top, try to balance for 3 seconds. This engages your inner ear balance system. Then lower yourself back down slowly, taking a full 3 seconds to descend. This slow lowering phase is where the real strength is built. Start with 10 repetitions and work your way up to 25. Of course, when it comes to a balance challenge, safety is paramount. Start by using the chair for support as much as you need. As you become more stable, you can progress to just resting your fingertips on it, and eventually to not holding on at all. Listen to your body and progress at your own pace. A study from Japan's Longevity Research Center found that older adults who could perform 20 single-leg heel raises had arterial flexibility and cognitive scores comparable to people 15 years younger. This movement is a true 2-for-1. It strengthens your body's second heart, while simultaneously fine-tuning the balance systems that keep you steady on your feet. The Independence Blueprint, modified squats to a chair. Our runner-up is arguably one of the most fundamental movements for a long and independent life. The modified squat to a chair. Now, before your knees start to ache just thinking about it, let me share something crucial. A massive 2024 analysis of over 40 studies found that when performed correctly, chair squats actually reduced knee pain by 58% for people with osteoarthritis. The issue this movement solves is profound. The ability to stand up from a seated position is a cornerstone of independence. It's something we do dozens, if not hundreds, of times a day. When we lose that ability, our world shrinks dramatically. Studies have grimly shown that adults who cannot perform a sit-to-stand test without using their arms have a mortality rate 3 times higher over the next 5 years. That's how essential this movement is. A major difficulty is that many of us, fearing knee pain, avoid this motion, which ironically weakens the very muscles that protect our knees. The crucial detail is in the technique. We often see squats being done in the gym and think it's a complicated, knee-destroying exercise. We believe our squatting days are over. Therefore, we develop poor habits, like leaning forward and using momentum, which puts all the strain on our knees and back instead of our powerful leg and glute muscles. Let's use an analogy here. Imagine you need to lift a heavy box. You have 2 options. You could bend over with a rounded back and try to hoist it with your weak lower back muscles, a recipe for injury. Or you could get close, keep your back straight, and use the power of your legs and hips, the strongest muscles in your body, to lift it safely. A proper chair squat is exactly like that second option. It's not a knee exercise, it's a hip exercise. By learning to push your hips back first, what's called a hip hinge, you're engaging your glutes, the powerhouse of your body, to do the work. This not only builds incredible lower body strength, but it also takes the pressure off your knees. Here is the blueprint for independence. Stand in front of a sturdy chair with your feet about hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest. Now, initiate the movement by pushing your hips backward, as if you're trying to shut a car door with your behind. Lower yourself slowly, taking 3 seconds, until you lightly touch the chair. Do not relax. The moment you touch, immediately push through your heels and squeeze your glutes to stand back up. That's 1 rep. Start with 5 to 8. And build to 15. Remember our safety rule. Start with a chair that is a comfortable height for you, where your knees are at about a 90-degree angle. As you get stronger, you can progress to a slightly lower surface to increase the challenge, but only when you feel stable and pain-free. The Stanford Longevity Center found that just 6 weeks of this exercise increased lower body power, which is strength plus speed, by 47%. This power is what allows you to catch yourself from a trip or quickly get out of the way. This single movement is a blueprint for rebuilding the strength you need for a confident, independent life. The age-reversing signal, bird-dog hold progressions. And now we arrive at the #1 spot. The movement that is fundamentally changing our understanding of exercise for healthy aging. This is the one I mentioned at the beginning, the one that a 2024 study in the Journal of Gerontology called the single most effective exercise for people over 60, and the one linked to a 42% increase in lifespan markers in Harvard-related research. It's called the bird-dog hold progression. What makes this exercise so unique is that it doesn't just solve one issue, but addresses a cascade of age-related declines. It targets core weakness, poor balance, cognitive fog, back pain, and even bone density loss, all at the same time. As we age, the communication between our brain and our body can weaken. The neural pathways that control balance and coordination become less efficient. This is the root cause of so many issues we face. Walking is good, but it's a highly practiced automatic movement. It doesn't challenge our brain or our stabilizing muscles in the novel ways required to rebuild these connections. Now, the reason this movement is often overlooked is that it looks, well, a little strange. It's slow, deliberate, and feels more like a balance pose than a strength exercise. It's not an intuitive movement like a squat or a push-up. Therefore, it is massively underutilized, seen as something for physical therapy rather than a powerhouse for reversing the clock on aging. To understand its profound effect, let's use one final, powerful analogy. Imagine your body is a complex orchestra, and your brain is the conductor. With age, the conductor might get a little tired, and the connections to some of the musicians, your muscles, can get staticky. The orchestra can still play a simple, familiar tune like walking, but the timing is a bit off, and the sound isn't as rich. The bird dog exercise is like giving the conductor a complex, beautiful new piece of sheet music. By holding that diagonal position, opposite arm and leg extended, you are forcing the left and right hemispheres of the brain to communicate intensely. The conductor has to focus, sending precise signals to dozens of musicians simultaneously to maintain balance, stability, and form. This process doesn't just play music. It actively repairs the static-filled connections and builds new, clearer communication lines. This is a process called neuroplasticity, literally rewiring your brain for better function. And here is the ultimate benefit. Start on your hands and knees. Your hands should be under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Keeping your back flat, slowly extend your right arm straight forward and your left leg straight back, creating one long line. And here is the key. Hold. Start by holding for 5 seconds. Focus on keeping your hips level with the floor. Lower slowly and repeat on the other side. As you progress over weeks, increase the hold time, add a tiny pulse, or even try closing your eyes for a second to challenge your balance. The Mayo Clinic followed older adults doing this exercise, and the results were staggering. A 93% increase in core strength, a 76% decrease in lower back pain, and most remarkably, a 3.2% increase in bone density in the spine and hips. This happens through a process called mechanotransduction. The specific sustained tension of the bird dog pose sends a literal signal to your bone cells, telling them to rebuild and become stronger. You are signaling your body to reverse the normal aging process, and there you have it, the age-reversing signal. It might seem quiet and unassuming, but the impact it has on your core strength, your balance, your brain health, and your bone density is why it stands alone at the top of our list. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from our foundational strength builder of the wall push-up, to leveraging your longevity with seated leg lifts, activating your body's second heart with heel raises, building your independence blueprint with chair squats, and finally sending that powerful age-reversing signal with the bird dog. Each one is a stepping stone to a more vibrant, confident you. Which of these insights, perhaps it was the simplicity of the foundational strength builder, or maybe the surprising power of the age-reversing signal, resonated with you the most? Which one are you thinking of trying first? I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts, so please share them in the comments below. If you found this journey valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps others in our community find this information. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for us. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep thriving.